Welcome to my podcast. Today I have with me Josie Koopman. She's an extraordinary educator, a newlywed wife, a promising, ambitious young girl, an extremely talented, super techie girl
Mhm.
who is the most patient teacher I have ever met in my life. Josie, welcome to my show.
Oh, thank you. Those are such kind words.
Of course, you deserve everything.
Oh.
So, Josie, tell us a little bit about yourself, like your childhood, your young adulthood, and where you grew up, and all those.
Yeah, so I am originally from Arkansas. I grew up in Arkansas. I went to a small private college in Arkansas called Washita Baptist, and then decided I didn't want to live in Arkansas anymore. So a couple of my friends and I, we decided to move to Dallas and didn't think I wanted to be a teacher until probably senior year of high school when I decided to take one of the teacher orientation classes that we had and fell in love with it. Decided to make that my major. I was like, I can always change it, but here I am. However many years later, I'm going into my fourth year of teaching. I just got married. Um, Loving the Texas Dallas life. And yeah.
Amazing. I also wanted to mention that Josie, I worked with Josie year before last year, and then we were in the kindergarten team, and she's extremely patient. She with all the kindergartners, much more than I was, uh, and she was our to-go person. Me and my another teammate, we used to always go to her whenever we need any kind of tech support, and she was extremely, extremely kind and compassionate with all the 5-year-olds. So Josie, tell me a little bit about like what was your experience in public education? Like, I know you fell in love. We all love what we do.
Mhm,
We go over and beyond. But how was your experience? I mean, apart from the love of teaching and nurturing young minds
mhm,
and love for the children, how have you felt every day coming out of the classroom?
mhm. So, like I said, I'm going into my fourth year of teaching. Next week is whenever I'll start. And I'm teaching first grade, but the past 3 years I've taught kindergarten. And I would blanket statement say I love teaching. It's really hard job. And each year has gotten a little bit more challenging for me. I don't think that's everybody's experience. But for myself, I just was having a progressively more rough time. But each year, I'm just excited to start over and do better. And if I need to change anything or try new ideas. So each year is really exciting for me. And a lot of the times, I do have more good days than hard days. But sometimes it's just a little rough. So on the outside, teaching is so much fun and it's my creative outlet. And it's where I just get to be silly and goofy with all the kids, and I'm really passionate about, like, foundational reading skills and, um, that kind of thing. I got my master's in reading and dyslexia last year, and so I just love all of the foundational teaching and reading skills, but also there are a lot of really hard things, and I think looking for other coworkers that just bring joy to your day and, just leaning into the really good moments make it worth it for the most part.
Yeah, I think teaching people what people see from outside, and especially teaching young kids like
Mhm,
kindergartners or like early childhood, people think it's a very fun thing.
mhm,
It's cutting and pasting, and the teacher is doing fun stuff.
mhm,
But what goes behind the scenes is a lot more.
mhm,
We get kids from all walks of life, especially in public education. You get kids from so many different
mhm,
environments, so many different scenarios, and they have so many aces in their at homes, and they come from different family backgrounds,
mhm,
cultures, and it's so hard, and it's all on teachers to kind of like, bear
mhm,
those and then all or understand them and try to make their life a little better, love
mhm,
them first and foremost
mhm.
before teaching them, before going to the instruction part. And I think you have done an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
And so, Josie, like your decision to move from public to private
Mhm,
education, and I myself also did that last year, and I love it. Not that I didn't love public education, but I think private in a private sector, it's more smaller setting. Like, you get to choose. The kids are a little different, but what made you make that decision
Mhm.
to move to private sector?
Yeah, I was laughing with one of my friends the other day, and we are about to go into another year of completely doing a job that we never thought we would do. I was like, I'm never going to teach at a private school. And she was saying, like, I'm never going to go into church ministry, but she's going into it in a few weeks. And so we were just like, what? This is just not where we expected to be. Um, but I think just over the past few years, I've really just first like desired to be able to share my faith in the classroom, which is not possible in a public education. And I respect that and I don't bring that into the classroom, but I do think it's really neat that I'm going to a private school that I do get to talk openly about that sort of thing. Um, and then also, like you said, it's a lot smaller. I was the district that we were both at was seems really big and it seems almost daunting to meet the needs of all the different learners under one district head, which um is hard because we live in a really populated area. And yeah, we live in a really populated area. And so all the districts around here are really big. So you can't really get away from that. But just noticing that there are tons of elementary schools and one can be in a very different part of the city. And we're both teaching the same things and have the same expectations for the students when realistically one set of those maybe can't meet those expectations because there are other things going on that need to be met first, if that makes sense.
Right.
Trying to think what else I
Yeah, I mean, every year it keeps building up or
mhm,
adding like more things. I mean, it takes the fun out of teaching, especially like back 15 years back maybe. Like my
mhm,
mom was a school teacher, and at that the time when she taught, and I saw her teaching. I mean, she was teaching, actually teaching. The paperwork was done by the admin, and
mhm,
then she did not have to do, I mean, other than the corrections and
mhm,
making the report cards and all those. But right now, I mean, I think there are so many more added things on the
mhm,
teacher that it really takes out all the joy and fun from you. And also, the kids that come to the classroom, not all are like, they don't all cater to the Gen Ed classroom. And you cannot do anything about it, especially in early childhood, as we both face.
mhm,
Like, by the time they get evaluated and moved, like, or kind of like in special ed, the year is done.
mhm.
So the kinder teacher
Yeah.
actually faces all the
Yeah.
hardships or
Yeah.
everything that that they have to do,
Mhm,
and that makes your job harder. I mean, if your attention diverts to, like, for the safety of other children, like, then you cannot really teach.
mhm,
So yes, in that case, private schools are uh, like they, as I said, they have less resources. I have to say that that's, you can take it as a con, or
mhm,
like, but because of that, they they do not allow all sorts of kids because they can't.
mhm,
It's their ability does not allow them to take, because their resources are not as the government funded
mhm,
schools. So so you don't get to see the kids that you saw in public education. And also you can openly talk about your faith, like
mhm,
how you were going to a Christian school, and I teach an Islamic school right now. And then, apart from teaching, you can also talk about your faith, which is wonderful, especially who are like God-fearing people like me and you.
mhm.
So yeah, so I wish you all the best in your future endeavor, and I'm sure you will do wonderful.
Thank you.
So so Josie, like being a teacher, like
Mhm,
who motivate, or who kind of was your role model, and who motivated you the most, that you
mhm,
can be like an amazing teacher, or you can do anything
yeah.
in life. Like, who was your, I'm sure there was someone.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I didn't think I wanted to go into teaching until probably senior year of high school. And at that time, school was just school to me, if that makes sense.
Right.
I didn't necessarily have like a teacher that I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be a teacher because of this
Right.
teacher. But like, reflecting, I'm like, "Oh, there were some really amazing educators that I was able to be in their class and cross paths with." My grandma was a teacher, and so I was able to go to class with her whenever I was a lot younger, but she's been retired for a really long time. So other than her, I don't really have any other educators in my family, which I feel like is not the norm. I feel like a lot of people are like, "Oh, yeah, my mom's a teacher, my sister's a teacher, my grandma's a teacher." Oh, wait, I have a couple other ones that they're all retired. I, like, just they're all retired, so I haven't been able to go into their classrooms in a
Right.
long time. But, um, since then, I have really honestly looked to, like, social media and found other teachers that I thought shared the same values and passions and, were sharing their cool ideas, and I was able to just, like, kind of soak it all in and be like, "Oh, what are they doing in their classroom? How can I connect better with kids? How can I make my classroom more engaging? How can I don't know, try something different?" I'm like, "Oh, this didn't work out for me. Let's see if I can find somebody who's done it better and I can learn from them." I also had great educators in college. They were really amazing, but I was in their class and it wasn't like I was in a school setting almost. But I've crossed paths with a ton of great educators and also looked at them, like, online on TikTok and Instagram and all the things, Pinterest, just to see what other great educators are doing out there in the world to try to gain some wisdom from.
Right. And I think educators do make an impact in everyone's life.
Mhm,
And I have heard from almost everyone that there was this point in their life, one point that they all felt like, oh, that teacher made a huge impact in
mhm,
my life and that, made me who I am. So I think it's education. I mean, teaching is wonderful.
mhm,
Though people say that they're not well paid, but then, you have to be really
mhm,
passionate about like what you do.
mhm,
And I think it's in every profession.
yeah,
So Josie, when you were growing up, did you face any challenges or life-changing events or something like kind of wanted to hold you back and you felt kind of overwhelmed or drowning? And I'm sure everyone has their own struggle or
mm,
own battle in their own way. Were there times in your life that you went through those kind of challenges and you still overcame uh, that those with kind of like
mhm,
and became stronger?
yeah. I I think there have been a lot of them are coming to mind. A few that I could just touch on. My stepmom passed away a couple of years ago. We've kind of bonded over, like, loss of family members in our life and how hard that is, and doing it while teaching, and, um, that I think one thing that really stuck out to me in that instance was I'd never had anybody in my close family pass away before, and she was diagnosed with cancer, and it like an 8-month battle, and it was just really heartbreaking to watch and to experience that. But I really was worried. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna shake my faith." Like, some people, these things happen and they think they get mad at God or they feel so angry and they turn away, and I'm like, "This could be I know she's going to die, and this, like, when she dies, like, what's gonna happen? How am I gonna respond?" And, like, praise the Lord, I whenever she did pass, I was like, "She's healed. She's in the arms of the Lord, and she's,
She's
like,
in a better place.
completely." Yeah, she's not suffering as she was, and, um I went straight back to teaching after that and had to, like, I was sad and grieving and also in my first year of teaching and my first year away from family, and it was just a lot of different things where I had to really reflect on kind of like my coping mechanisms and,
Right.
how to deal with grief because 'cause I've never done that before, and then also just, like, keeping it in, but also being real with my students and being like, "I'm sad today," and
And it's okay to be
yeah.
sad.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, "I'm sad today, it's okay to be sad," like, we're talking about this, and it makes me think of my stepmom, and it makes me a little teary-eyed, and that's
Right.
okay, and, like, it's fine, and so, yeah, and you totally understand that kind of
Yeah, yeah.
experience.
Yeah, I think like when you go through life, as you mentioned, I had the same kind of feeling when I was my husband was critically ill and I was like, "Oh my God, I don't want that to shake my faith,"
Mhm,
and I really was praying to God that nothing bad happens to him,
mhm,
even though he was critically ill. But we believe we have to hope for the best in
Mm,
our religion and prepare for the worst. So I was seeing what is coming, but I hope, because miracles do happen and we have to have faith in God,
mhm,
that and miracles do happen when you only believe it. And there were several times when he was ill, but he came out of it because, it was miraculous, but God brought him out of it. So I always believed till the last moment that he will come out of it. And I had the same fear that I just don't want my faith to be shaken.
mhm,
And I was praying to God that nothing happens to him, and, so that I can hold on to my faith. But as you said, I mean, it's amazing. When he passed, it was the darkest moment in my life. It changed my life completely. I mean, that time and moment, it felt like my whole world crumbled. I mean, I had a blackout. But it's so amazing that God takes care of you. He just holds you with his hands, and if you can feel that, and he nurtures you, and he kind of like guides you through that, and that dark tunnel, and brings you out, and you can see the light. And it's so I myself couldn't think or believe that I would be able to survive, because I loved him so much, and we were emotionally so dependent on each other. I was thinking, how would I survive? But it is so miraculous that me and my children, who are my pillars of strength, we came out even stronger. And faith is something that actually helped us get through that. I mean, you can never get over grief. I mean, whoever lost a loved one can understand me. You can never get over grief.
mhm,
You can only manage it better
mhm,
over time. But if you are God fearing, and if you have strong faith and belief, then that helps you heal.
mhm,
So it helped me like the way it helped you, and me and my children always believe that there will be a day, a brighter day. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, talking about grief, I mean, I think none of my podcasts are it would like ended without talking about grief or my husband,
mm,
because he impacted me so much. And I'm sure your stepmom impacted you so much. I mean, those are great human beings who leave the world, and even years after they leave, you talk about them, and you want to be one of them, like that, like one of those people, right? So yeah, we face challenges and life-changing events, but we come out stronger. And as you said, that you went back to work, and that there are days that you cannot handle, it seemed. And for me, I went back to work. I was teaching, and I felt like, oh, I cannot handle. But then I told the kids that I'm sad.
mhm,
My coworkers knew I'm sad, and I think it's okay to be. I think some people, they feel that they have to suppress their grief or cannot let that
mhm,
out or cry. But I think it's okay to share. I think that makes you feel
mhm.
lighter.
Yeah, and it makes you connect with the students too because you're being vulnerable with them and showing them true emotions and what it is like being an adult and like dealing with all these hard things.
Yeah.
And some of them can connect with you in the same sense of maybe not losing their husband because they're children, but being like, oh, I lost my dad, or oh,
Yeah.
I lost my uncle or whoever,
Right.
and just connecting on that personal level to help build your relationship with them.
Right. And I think vulnerability is like, many people think that's their weakness.
Hmm.
I don't see it like that. I think if you are the people you trust, your confidence, if you're vulnerable with them, it kind of helps build human
I agree. I
connections,
agree.
and otherwise we will never connect.
Hmm.
We always connect when we are vulnerable to each other. And I think that's how we connected,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, within few months we were like. And I remember you had a cockroach in your class. And you called me from your class that I have a cockroach, I don't know what to do. So it's a funny moment, but it's just shows like you had trust in me that, okay,
Mhm.
she can come and take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a scary moment.
Mm. I remember that. Yeah. And so Josie, you found the love of your life.
Mhm.
So I know you are very God fearing. You were religious, and you kind of like always stay within your religious boundaries. So, like, for you as a young girl in early 20s, how did you feel like, when your other friends are like dating or living together, or like, I mean, peer pressure and all, and you were kind of like trying to find the guy that you would actually
Mhm.
fall in love and marry.
Mhm.
I mean, I know in this world and time, not everyone like us, right?
Mhm.
I'm from a
Mhm.
different generation, but even
Mhm.
from for in your generation, it's like people believe in casual relationships, and that are not emotionally deep. So I saw you myself that how deep you are, and you kind of like believed in those emotional relationship rather than physical. So how was it difficult for you? How did you kind of like?
Yeah, so before I met my husband, I had only dated one person in high school, like, briefly. So I really hadn't had a lot of experience dating, but I watched other friends date whenever I moved to Dallas, and there were a bunch of different ways that everybody dated, and so I really just got to be observant and m most of all, like, pray about it and see, like, where I felt the Lord was calling me to, like, stay in my boundaries and all those different things. But then I kinda just got to be like, "Hmm, I like the way they went, like, they dated, I didn't like the way they dated. I agree with that, I don't agree with what those people did," that kind of thing. I got to sit back and kind of observe for a while. So I set my standards really high, and I knew that the Lord was gonna provide. I didn't know when or whether he would just change my heart to not wanting a husband, but, um, that if I were to find a husband, that he would be like my best friend. So and I know that you and your husband were best friends, so you
We
just, like,
were.
totally understand
Yeah.
that I wanted us to be like, have a deep friendship first and deep emotional connection before, like you said, physical connection or anything like that. So I kept, like, physical boundaries very whenever we first started dating, we discussed it. He led the conversation, he agreed. We wanna have, like, very strict boundaries and things to just protect ourselves and protect our hearts because we know, like, either we're gonna break up or we're gonna get married, and so either way, we wanna protect ourselves and just, like, honor God when like, through our
Right.
relationship. So, yeah, we built a friendship first. We were friends for a few months before we started dating, and he was so fun and goofy, and we just connected over being silly and, serving at church together, and our friends were mutual friends, and, just connected over a lot, and yeah,
Right.
here we are.
Right. And that speaks a lot, like doing the right things. All God always rewards you for doing the right things, no matter if you are in 1920 or 2025. Do the right thing. Don't cross the boundaries. Don't feel that you are not cool because you are not doing certain things because your other friends are doing. Because if you are doing the right thing, you're honoring God, you're listening to God, then He will reward you in the very best way. And you did find your
Mm,
love of your life, and you are
mhm,
happily married. And I also want to bring it up that, in every religion, there are morals, values, and principles. It's not like, sometimes people generalize that in certain religion, it's just, people are good, or in other religion, it's not. I mean, and in every religion, people generalize because they don't have that knowledge, or they don't study that much of the other religion. I
mhm,
think one of the things that in my religion is like to respect other religion,
mhm,
and every religion has good and bad, like every people, and every religion talks about one thing: that do good, listen to God, don't hurt anybody, don't steal, don't lie. So all the good things are all, it's comes is the same rules in all religions. So, and also for doing the right thing, for staying, in the right path, you will be rewarded. So, and I want to say that we connected also because we are extremely, even though she's a very good Christian, I'm a believing Muslim. So, but we are very grounded. We are very our faith is our first and foremost. We put God first, and then family. So, kind of our those things matched, and that's
mhm.
why we connected so deeply.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Josie, like, for like when in your hard days, sometimes even in school, in life, in like when you were when your stepmom was going through the cancer treatment, and like towards the end of her life, I mean, any hard day, like what is that one thing that kept you going, like what you felt that you will come out of it, even in your hardest days in school, or
Mhm.
any hardest moments in your life.
Yeah, I feel like you could probably guess I'm just gonna say, like, looking to the Lord and just leaning on Him for comfort and to get me through the day. There are many times where I was in the classroom and I was having a really hard time, and I just have to turn around and pray for a second and then go back to what I was doing because truly I can't get through
Right.
my day without Him. And so that would be the first thing. And second thing would also just be this is more of a normal thing, but just finding things that I love to do outside of teaching and knowing that the next day is a new day, and I'm a very reflective person, and so I like to look at my day and be like, "What can I do better? How can I fix this? What can I tweak a little bit?" And so just coming home from work, thinking about how I could do something differently the next time, how I could respond better, how I could teach something differently, all that, and then also prioritizing fun outside of work. So I love to come home and cook and bake, and that's a big stress reliever, and hang out with my friends and my husband, and yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to be positive all the
Mhm,
time, and then you have to find joy outside your profession, some things that you're passionate about. I mean, of course you have to be passionate about your profession, but other than that also you have to find joy in other things like community work, social work, giving back to the community. Like you do a lot of church work and I do at mosque, and then I have my charity organization that I run. I also have a little wedding planning business that I'm passionate about because I love designing.
mhm,
And then I started up this podcast. So I think every morning when I wake up and I feel like, what is one thing that I can do, a positive thing that I can impact, even if I can impact one person, I mean,
mhm,
it's totally worth it,
mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And that's how you keep, I mean, that's something that keep me going apart from my profession. I'm like, that's something to look forward to. Like, okay, what's something that I can do? Even in a charity organization, in my organization, okay, we have built the orphanage, we have built a senior citizen home. Maybe we can build a medical clinic, and for the poor people in the rural areas of Bangladesh that will help. And that brings immense joy,
Mhm,
that you are giving back to the community, you're helping people. So yes, outside of work, you have to find something like that kind of motivates you, brings
mhm,
joy to you. And I want to say that people, I know women or young girls or some, they feel sometimes not confident enough, like in some points of their life. We all do. And they feel like, okay, we will not be able to achieve things that we wanted to, or they don't feel wanted, or they don't feel appreciated enough. So, what would you want to tell, what you want to tell them that, when they're feeling low, not appreciated enough, or going through a rough patches in their
mhm.
lives, like what would be your message that would help them get through?
Yeah. Um, I just like talking to, like, my younger self almost of just knowing that it might not always be better, like, there are gonna be so many hard days ahead, but just finding if you have a faith, like grounding yourself in that and leaning on God and um, surrounding yourself with people who you feel comfortable with and you trust and you love. And like you said, finding places to serve, finding fun activities, all those sort of things to kind of support yourself in that and get yourself through and find the positive moments and make the fun moments for yourself. And if it's really hard, just, I don't know, just not treat yourself, but spend time almost prioritizing things that you enjoy in your life so that you can keep pushing because it's going to go up and down and all over the place, and life is crazy. So I can't promise that it's always going to be amazing, but you can find the places where you look to and the Lord and people who walk with you through that.
Right, right. And sometimes you feel like you decide to do something, or you wish to do something, and it doesn't end up like that.
Mhm.
You end up doing something else, right? And it's okay. I think it's okay. Like one of my friends, her daughter went to med school, got she got into a very good med school, but then after the first years, she felt that it's very overwhelming. That's not something she wants to do. And she told her mom, I don't want to be in that place.
Mhm.
And my friend was talking to me, and my piece of advice to her was, it's okay. She figured out earlier than later that she doesn't want to be in that place. And maybe she's not passionate about something better is stored for her. God has kept something better. So if something doesn't work out, it doesn't mean you are a failure. That means that God has better plans for you. Like when I was going, if you remember, if when I was going through those challenges in school,
Mhm.
like real challenges, and um, I was feeling like why it's happening to me. I mean, I sometimes kind of little bit question myself, and it's like, I always do good to people, and then, but I thought then I kind of like gathered myself, and I'm like, no, people, this is part of life, and I'm going to fight it back, and then I'm going to come out stronger, and bring the best version of out of myself, and then I'm sure something better is stored for me.
Mhm.
And I have never been a quitter. I always persevered. So I also want to mention that perseverance and determination are the keys. So I persevered, and it is true. Where I am now, I'm a lot happier. I'm treated much better. Um, my peers, my supervisors, my students, my parents all love me, appreciate me, and you want to be in a place where you're appreciated, valued, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, I did meet wonderful people where I worked, where we worked, like you.
Mhm.
And I feel like if I wouldn't have been there, I would not have learned as much as I learned now. And I would not have met amazing people like you all. So God has reasons for things, and He puts people in their
Mhm.
lives for a reason. But yes, if something is not working out, I would say that it's not the end of the world.
Mhm.
Persevere and believe in yourself, and I'm sure something better is stored for you. So I mean, as you just mentioned, you have to push it through,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
you will get there. You will
Mhm.
find your why. You will find your passion, like how you never thought that you will be an educator, but then you love what you do.
Mhm.
So yeah. And Josie, with that, we're almost to the end of the
Mhm.
podcast. Thank you so much for coming to my podcast,
Thank you
and
for
I
inviting
wish
me.
you an amazing 2025-2026 school year.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you will do great things with kids, and I cannot wait to hear from you how amazing things you're doing in your classroom.
Thank you for inviting me on your podcast. This was so much fun.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.